Your midlife crisis is actually your spiritual awakening. Have you ever thought, what if I took a wrong turn in my life 20 years ago and then the panic hits? I'm running out of time. I'm like 40, 45, 50. Is this it? Is it too late to start over? In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you why this is the beginning of your spiritual awakening and why that wrong turn might be the luckiest thing that ever happened to you. 2 years ago, my career collapsed while my marriage was falling apart. I was 90 pounds overweight, and I kept thinking, I definitely took the wrong turn. But here's the thing I didn't know. That wasn't the wrong turn. It was the only turn that could wake me up. Every hero of every story needed the crisis to set himself up on an adventure. We don't change unless life puts us out of the comfort. That crisis is very much needed so we can finally wake up. I didn't just survive that crisis. I shed 90 pounds, fixed my marriage, found my true purpose, and published a book about all of that. Then I became obsessed with the science behind why it actually worked. And here's what I discovered. Our souls, our higher selves, have been whispering to us for years, but in midlife, they stop whispering and start rearranging furniture. Let me show you what that rearranging of furniture actually looked like for me. I was sitting in a car outside my office. I ran a color grading studio in Los Angeles. Could make myself go out for a session with a client. My body was screaming, no, you're not going there. But my mind was like thinking, you should be grateful. You have a good job. What's wrong with you? And that's the moment. That's when collapse begins. It's the moment when the life you built on the autopilot starts collapsing under the weight of who you really are. And it's not that you're failing, it's that you've outgrown the person you pretended to be. That identity they built for you in your 20s can no longer carry the truth of who you're becoming. The true identity wants to break free. Carl Jung called this moment individuation, the second birth, the point where your old identity begins to die, so your soul can finally take over. For me, that second birth looked like sitting on the bathroom floor, 90 pounds overweight, realizing that successful guy everyone saw wasn't me at all. Jung understood what most of us miss. Our souls, they don't care about LinkedIn titles. They don't care about our mortgages or how stable things look from the outside. They care about one thing and one thing only, about alignment. And when we're out of alignment long enough, our subconscious stops tolerating it. The prison of comfort finally cracks, and the role we've been playing starts suffocating us. And suddenly, we don't want to be that old characters anymore. And that's scary. But the good news is that it's not going to last long if you follow the process. I'm going to show you 3 steps to navigate this awakening. Here's what you need to know. Depression isn't weakness. Jim Carrey said it best. Depression is your body saying it needs deep rest. From the character you've been playing. We call it depression. It's actually your superconscious saying, I can't do this anymore. The marriage that was based on impulse starts wobbling. The career built on external validation begins to dissolve. The friendship that fed your old identity suddenly feel like empty calories. And that's when most people panic and say, my life is falling apart. But it's not falling apart, it's falling into place. Because when the false identity collapses, our spiritual identity, our higher self, our superconscious, finally has enough space to emerge. So the question is, what do we do about it? What's the best course of action to navigate such a crisis and realign with our higher self? Here's what we're gonna do. The first step is stillness. You need to quiet your mind to hear what your intuition is saying. This means stopping that constant internal monologue, internal chatter. Most people, they racing all day, worrying about bills, dwelling on mistakes, and stressing about what might happen next. With all that mental noise, it's impossible to pick up on those subtle guidance that's trying to come through. You want to create regular moments of mental quiet. Create 10 minutes of silence each day. Leave your phone at home for a walk. Sit in your car for a few minutes before going out. When you quiet your mind, you calm down, and that constant worry stops. Then you'll notice something different. A specific idea or direction that feels right. Maybe it's about that project you've been considering or a conversation you need to have. It's your intuition finally getting through, because you stop that mental noise, and once you recognize this feeling, you're ready for step 2. The second step is to follow that pull, even when it makes zero logical sense. Let me show you what I mean. In August 2024, I got fired from a major project. My marriage was falling apart. I was devastated, just binge watching Netflix and YouTube, trying to numb the pain. And then on YouTube I came across a video. It had nothing to do with my situation. It was about a folk song analysis. And the line from that song was about burning a witch at the fire. At that moment an idea came to me. I had this intuitive feeling, this pull, that I needed to go to Burning Man. Don't ask me to explain it logically. I can't. It's like Harry Potter drinking Felix Felicis, the liquid luck potion. He didn't know why he needed to go to Hagrid's hut. He just followed the feeling. But the problem, the Burning Man festival was in 2 weeks. I didn't have a ticket. And Burning Man sells out months in advance. But I thought to myself, if this is it, there has to be a way. And guess what? In the entire history of Burning Man, that year, 2024, was the first time it didn't sell out. I just went on a website, clicked next, and I got my ticket. On their website, there was this funny GIF, follow the white rabbit. And instantly, it clicked. It's my favorite film, The Matrix. And I knew, I didn't know why, I just knew this experience would be transformative. And it was the most profound experience of my life. I found my purpose, and for the first time in years, I fell in love with myself again. That's what following pull looks like. Your subconscious doesn't send you a business plan. It sends you a whisper, a small nudge, a random video, a follow the white rabbit moment. And when you act on it, even when it's terrifying, even when it doesn't make sense, the universe rearranges itself to meet you at exactly where you needed to be, in the right place at the right time. Carl Jung called it synchronicity, the meaningful coincidences that guide you toward your true self, the ticket that shouldn't exist, the person who appears at the exact right moment, the book that falls off the shelf in your hands, that song on the radio that keeps finding you, that repeating number you spot on the license plates. Your job isn't to understand it, your job is to trust it and follow it. Even when everybody around thinks you're going crazy, you follow those signs and they lead you to the third step. The third step is identity reinforcement, which simply means acting as the person you're becoming before you feel ready. They call it inspired action. Here's what that looked for me. After Burning Man, I had this urge to write, but I didn't feel like a writer yet. I was terrified to put words on a page. English is not even my first language, but I couldn't think about anything else but writing. So I had to take that inspired action. I had to take it. And I started small. Every morning I'd open my laptop and I wrote one sentence, just one. Some days it was complete garbage. I wasn't writing to create a masterpiece. I was writing to prove my subconscious mind that I'm someone who writes. 3 months later, I had a book of 308 pages. Not because I stayed motivated, but because I changed my vote, one sentence at a time. And some days those one sentences, they turned into paragraph. And sometimes it turned into 20 pages in a row in one day. I just couldn't stop and kept writing until the next morning. It was those moments of flow. So instead of forcing discipline, instead of trying to stay motivated, you take one micro action towards that inspiration that you have out of nowhere, that micro action that confirms your new identity. You don't need to change your whole life, you change your vote. Every tiny action is a vote for the future you. And the moment your subconscious sees enough proof, the identity becomes automatic. But here's where most people screw this up. It's very easy to miss the intuitive voice and the voice of our ego. That's how we end up buying red convertibles we couldn't afford. But how to distinguish the voice of your ego from the voice of your superconscious, your higher self? Here's the framework, inspired by Eckhart Tolle teachings. We follow our intuition and end up buying a red convertible we can't afford, leaving our family, or making compulsive decisions that destroys our life. Because there are two voices in a midlife crisis, and if you can't tell them apart, you'll mistake your ego's panic for your soul's guidance. Trap number 1, the instant gratification trap. The ego says, quit that job today, buy the motorcycle now. You've suffered long enough, you deserve this. It feels urgent, desperate. Like if you don't act right now, you'll miss your chance. That's the ego. The trap number 2, comparison trap. The ego says, look at him, he's traveling the world. Look at her, she's living her purpose. You're falling behind. Ego is always looking sideways, always measuring, always feeling less than. That's the ego. Trap number 3, the escape trap. The ego says, the problem is in your marriage. The problem is in your city. The problem is your job. Just leave and everything will be better. It's running from somewhere instead of moving towards something. And here's how I know these traps so well. I fell into all of them. And it's perfectly well documented in my book, It's a Sign. But here are some spoilers. I divorced my wife and fell into a girl who was 12 years younger than me. That didn't work out. And a year and 5 other girlfriends later, I ended up begging my wife, ex-wife, for forgiveness. Because the truth is that I was trying to find this true love in any place except the most obvious one, the real one. Luckily, my wife knew better and she forgave me, and we are happy again. But that wound was very much unnecessary for her. And I'm very sorry. Here's the framework that I learned a little too late. Go ahead and take a screenshot. And here's the simplest way to fight against your ego. When you feel a pull, whether it's quitting your job, starting a business, or yes, buying that red convertible or a motorcycle, sit in stillness for 5 minutes. No distractions. Just you and the quiet. Then ask, does this choice feel heavy or light? Am I running from something or moving towards something? Does this deplete me or energize me? Am I trying to impress someone? Your superconscious doesn't scream. It whispers. And it always feels like coming home. And maybe the grandest rule of all time, at least for me, never end relationships or marriages in a state of midlife crisis. Even if it seems like you fell in love again, it's not real love. It won't last for 3 weeks. And you're going to break 3 hearts, not just one. Let me leave you with this. That breaking point you're experiencing is the doorway. It's not the end. Okay? Your soul is tapping you on the shoulder, offering a chance to finally become authentic. In quiet moments, you'll hear its whisper. In that persistent pull, you'll see direction. Through tiny daily choices, you'll rebuild yourself. Once you can tell the difference between your ego-frantic demands and your deeper wisdom, you look back at this crisis as the moment everything changed for better. You look at it as the beginning of your spiritual awakening. Look at your favorite movies, your favorite books. A hero never goes to that journey, never sets himself on adventure unless there's a crisis. He was forced to set out on the adventure. And he refuses to go first. But then he goes. He goes to the unknown anyways and comes back a changed man. Every hero's journey is a blueprint for your transformation. I know where you are right now. You're in the middle of the storm and you're trying to figure out which voice to trust. Good news is that you don't have to do it alone. I've created a free community for people exactly like us navigating midlife transformation without red convertible mistakes. Inside, you'll find the complete ego versus superconscious framework, plus a real advice from community members who are living this journey right now. Come join us. Because the greatest transformations, they don't happen in isolation, they happen in community. I'll see you inside. If you're curious which state of a midlife crisis you're actually in right now, I break down all of the 6 stages of midlife crisis in this video, so you can follow along and see exactly where you are right now and what's coming next. I'll see you all there.